Hey everyone, this is Den Mother Amanda coming to you live on StreamYard. I hope this turns out okay on StreamYard. I'm giving it a try. So picked up I thought of a topic that I'd like to talk about, and that would be gender identity disorder slash gender dysphoria. Um, and whether that's needed or not for medical transition, to be considered transsexual. Um, I wouldn't necessarily say transgender, although some people could say, yeah, or are able to say I'm transgender and have it and medically transition. But I think, for me, in my opinion, I really think um, transgender has become too broad of a term for that. You know, and I kind of, yeah, I like the community. I like people. I like most everybody in the community. I've got a bunch of friends in the LGBT plus community. Why I say TT is transgender and transsexual. Um, I'll let you know what it is for me. I identify more as transsexual because I do have gender identity disorder slash gender dysphoria, and I am going through the medical process of transitioning. I've been on hormone replacement for like just over 4 years, and I've had two transitional surgeries already. One of them was the first one was vocal, and the second one was breast augmentation, and they both went fairly well. Um, and I'm on my way. Anyway, we're gonna get into this and gender identity disorder, gender dysphoria. Either one you like to use, it's still the same thing, and it is a mental disorder. And having that is the reason why transsexual people are able to get the medical services that we get, because it's a medical condition and it does help with alleviate some of the duress and stress from gender disorder, identity disorder, and gender dysphoria. It's not a full cure, but it does help quite a lot by going through these things. And whichever side you're coming from, whether it be male to female or female to male, it's just each time we do this stuff, it does help alleviate it. It doesn't totally all go away. Um, Also, it's like for trans male to female, there's a lot of electrolysis that's involved, and some are able to do, or some are able to have laser hair removal if your hair and complexion meet up to the criteria where it would work well. Darker hair, maybe a lighter complexion, lighter to mid complexion, if I'm remembering right. Um, my hair color doesn't work well for the laser hair removal. And, and having that done and the surgeries that are done and that are coming up, and it's having that diagnosis is the catalyst for being able to have the surgeries done. A lot of times, most of the electrolysis is out of pocket cost unless it's needed for prior to surgery. That it can be covered by insurance, and if it's not covered up front by insurance, it can be submitted to the insurance company for reimbursement. Don't know the specifics of how that works for doing that. I haven't done it. I could have done it, and I probably still can. Because I need some more electrolysis for bottom surgery. So if I end up doing that, I'll try to let everyone know how that goes. And so there's a base reference for those who are interested in it and finding out. Um, anyway, the gender identity disorder slash gender dysphoria, and is it an identity? Well, actually, when it comes down to it, it's not an identity. Um, if you got the gender identity disorder slash gender dysphoria, it's not an identity. It's what we are, what I am. It's what I am transsexual. And I kind of my thing is I'm a biological male going through a medical process to fit in as a female, would be seen and heard as female. Um, Even though my biology doesn't match. We can get into that at later dates, later times, and if people would like to join me on a live, that would be great. We'll do some interviews and some collaborations. Would be awesome sauce. Um, the identity part of it is for those who say, "Well, yeah, I'm trans," and it's like, okay, they're just like cross dressing or they're AGP, autogynephilic, for male to female portion of it. There's a term for women that do it too. I just can't remember what that is right offhand. For me, it's not about AGP or an identity. Um, and all the sad part of it is there's people out there that say you don't need to have that diagnosis to medically transition, and that's dangerous, very dangerous. Why is it dangerous? It's dangerous because too many people start saying this, and insurance companies get a hold of this. They're going to say that, okay, it's just an identity, not a diagnosis. And it will eliminate insurance companies being paying for what's needed for us that really have this problem. Well, it's not a problem if we deal with it. For those of us who have gender identity disorder slash gender dysphoria, and it's for me. It sounds cruel when people try to say that gender dysphoria slash identity disorder is just an identity, and it's not. Because identities aren't able to get medical procedures paid for by insurance. This is some of these insurance companies. We need them to be able to help pay for this. Most of us need, and all of us need that diagnosis as a medical diagnosis. So our procedures will not be considered plastic surgery. And if it's again considered plastic surgery, it's the insurance companies are not required to pay for it or help pay for it. and that is harmful. That can be very harmful for us who are really transsexuals. Um, it's okay to have an opinion, it's an identity, although it's really not. Those who identify, like I say, usually are cross dressers or AGP, and if you're dressing up like the opposite, all it is okay, you can take it off and go out in the world as either one that you choose. For us that are really transsexual, we don't. It's not a choice. That's why we have the mental health disorder like that, the way it is, and insurance is considered a disorder, and have agreed that yes, these surgeries are helpful for those who suffer from gender identity disorder slash gender dysphoria, and it's we are willing to help with that. Um, a lot of times, if some of us we're going to some extended part of it too, talking about this. Some of us that live outside of the major metropolitan areas that have surgical providers or even sometimes mental health providers are not in the local area where it's readily available and they're able to get to their appointments and need help with transportation. Okay, if we got a regular insurance, sometimes it doesn't pay for all the distance between to and from each and every appointment, and sometimes they have a certain amount of time, a numbered amount of transportation, medical transportation visits that they'll provide for out of town visits. It is expensive, very expensive. I live in the southern tier of New York, okay, and we don't have anything really here for transsexual patients, except for maybe electrolysis and one therapist, mental health therapist. Um, and what I'm wanting to do is start a 501c3 nonprofit um, in a shorter term to help those of us who have difficulty getting to and from their appointments that they have to travel for. Um, and it's really hard. And I'm fortunate that my insurances will pay for the transportation to and from, usually as many times as I need. And for those of us who have a hard time with it, have extreme difficulties with it, I'd like to be able to help provide that. And I've got a link in the description for my Cash App at Dead Mother Amanda. If you'd like to help donate for the start of that and help support my channel, maybe if you would like. I know it would be greatly appreciated. Um, and it would be very helpful. Um, yeah, so it's kind of what I wanted to go through, talk about today. So I'll leave with this. If there's anything you would like me to talk about or try to talk about, please put it in chat, and I will go through them. I'll look, and we'll try to get something going. Conversations, decent conversations, no matter where we fall on either side. and with decent, respectful conversations. And we don't always have to agree, but at least be nice and respectful, even with differences, with or without differences of opinions and thoughts and ideas. And seeing where we can come and meet in the middle as somewhere and have maybe some compromises on both sides. So anyway, have a great day, rest of the day. And if no one has told you that they love you today, I love you. Thanks for tuning in.